trying to do with the BHP.
There we go. Alright, I'm unmuted. Hello everyone, this is Digitrex83 or Delta 6, depending on where you're watching.
Hello, industrious little fellow.
It's been a while since I did a stream like this. Back in March, we got the BNSF Bakersfield sub released, and I did about an hour-long video flying around to explore the route, rather than spend like 3 to 4 hours driving it. So in this case, I'm doing a little bit of both. So we have a 50-mile route, which is the combination of the Trona Railway, the entirety of it, and part of the Lone Pine subdivision. Not the entire part, because in real life, a fair bit of it was abandoned a long time ago, and it's really not worth modeling stuff far outside of the era that Run8 is modeled. So we're going to take this train that I have here, which I have is OLBTN, and hopefully OBS is not capturing the windows.
I will say this for anyone who's watching. If you want to see the old track bed of what wasn't modeled, go to Google Earth. It's a great resource.
So we're going to get into our 3.5 HPT freight train.
That's not your friend.
Is this the place for the heart helpful?
Turn up volume!
Wait, who's screaming turn up volume in the chat? What?
No, not me.
I was bringing the stream up. I was bringing the stream up on my iPad, and I was watching a video earlier. So,
do I have my brakes off?
I was holding down the volume down button on my iPad, and it was frozen for a second. So I said, audio. So I just screamed, "Turn down volume!"
It already says there's 5 people. It already says there's 5 people watching.
Hagen is currently watching. It says, "Hey, Ro, hello."
Hello, Hagen. I know you PM'd me if you can help me. I know you've been PMing me for the past 4 or 5 days. This week and next week are not the best weeks. Until I'm done with my finals, it is not viable for me to.
I mean, you go to college.
Well, I mean, the thing is, my apartment has really bad Wi-Fi. It's not physically possible for me to help him on weekdays, unless I'm at my college.
Well, yeah, but even so, finals. Finals make me shudder, honestly.
One of mine's a take-home, so it's not as bad.
Screw you.
Yo, if you look in general, do you not remember the idea you suggested to?
I swear to God. Oh my God, you're actually doing it.
Alright, so we also have, I'll show off for some people, we do have pack 2 installed, the mixed freight packs. We have these covered hoppers that would otherwise be box cars.
Box cars? Honestly, not gonna lie, but that is your scheme. Not gonna lie, that looks pretty fucking
Yeah, that's my honest scheme.
I don't care. You'll figure it out. Jesus.
Is that the one I gave you?
I don't remember which horn this is.
That would sound
Reminds me
awful.
I mean, okay, it's on my business. It reminds me a lot of 1184, one that I recorded and brought it to Run8.
Okay, can I get a participant check?
We got about 4 people watching it, so...
Number 6, okay.
Number 425, see, 2 SD45s, 1 with dynamic, and a large box. And a large box. Sorry.
No.
Alright, how many cars do I have on this train? I have 83 empties.
I'll have 2
I'll have 2 -9s.
an AC-40. Wait, what? There's nothing with a -6. What did you with a 6?
You don't need a -6.
GP60. GP60.
There's the
2 -9, an AC-44, a Jeep 60 with extra turbo, 2 SD45, 1 with dynamics, and a large tank.
So to those who are just joining us, welcome to the stream, welcome to the Trona review stream. I'll do a professional review at some point if I actually ever get around to it, of evaluating the route as a whole, but this is just the first look. Now for those who are watching, I know it says that I'm doing a first look, but really I have taken a look at the basic track layout and some of the buildings prior to this.
Oh, hey, look, Travars has joined the stream. Hello, Travis, you industrious little fellow.
You industrious little fella.
That's gonna be the stream name.
No, it's not.
Hello, peasants.
Oh wait, today is December 7th.
Is it?
Yeah, it is the 7th now.
Today's the 7th. But you know what? Well, there go 7 and 11. What is this?
No, Z, you know what I have to say to that? There goes an advent calendar.
What is that?
Introducing the new.
Hold on, were these cars properly tagged? Were these cars properly tagged? No, they weren't.
Oh, no.
Well, they're somewhat tagged. They're tagged for TRC, but they're not tagged for the specific industry to dump off at, which is unfortunate. I think they'll still work, though. I think as long as you have one of the two tags, it works.
Introducing the brand new series from Valhalla Tower Productions. There goes an advent calendar.
I don't remember this part of. I don't remember this part of the Lone Pine sub having 10 miles an hour. I swore this was 15.
Jonah, you're in the yard limits, you idiot.
I'm well aware, but last time I checked, G-Core yard limits were 15 miles an hour.
Okay, then go 25.
Well, it says 10. It says 10 on the limiter, so that's what's confusing me.
Don't care. Just go 25. It's fine.
I'm already doing like 13 miles an hour. I'll be fine. I just have to get out of the yard, which should be almost
I
good.
can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it's not potash. What?
I can't believe it is.
Just said screw it 50.
To be honest, I can't believe it is butter.
I still love my I managed to destroy 2 days just for trying to take one of them out. No, legit, I jabbed at 7 and I got 11 with it.
That sounds like an adult film.
See, I was right. I was right. It is 15.
That sounds like an adult film thing. I tried to take one out, but I took 2 out instead.
Oh boy. Great.
I tried to take 7, but I got
At my grandparents' house in the Heights of Houston. In Houston.
I have
Excellent.
a limit of 15 now.
Hello, Southeast Texas Run8V2 Productions. I don't know, is that Morgan?
No,
That's not Morgan.
Is it?
I was gonna say.
Texas.
Oh my god.
No, you say you're wrong. No.
Don't turn this in. This is not a meme dump, Z. Come on.
It kind of is.
Oh, it's Caden.
I'm correcting his language.
I don't care.
Being the true servant.
I don't care. Whose stream is it?
Your mom's.
Jonah, it's already become a meme.
Go back to elementary school. Just go sit in the corner. That was the dumbest joke ever.
Well, sit in the corner. I don't have a corner.
Make
I'm
one.
already in the corner.
Make
What are you
one.
talking about?
Oh, yeah, I already am in a corner.
So hold on, I didn't look in the user guides. So for those who are watching, also just remember, if you have Trona, in the user guides folder there is in the user guides folder. No, I'm being serious here. In the user guides folder you will see a PDF that says Lone Pine Branch Trona Railway. This has the operations for how Trona is supposed to normally run. So make sure you review that before you try and do actual operations. It will help out a lot. I'm reviewing it myself on stream for this purpose.
Big G knows me. Oh, jeez. I know a lot of people. Honestly, I have a very particular set of skills.
Wait,
Skills that may be a nightmare for someone like you. I'll let you say something else then. Oh, is that Connor? No.
Wait, is that my new alerter?
I know you. I know you.
Oh, that was my, that's, that's Kane. Oh, I know who you are.
Yeah, I know her.
So, I just realized that was a weird alerter to hear. That sounded like an F40 alerter that I had.
So, Trona, do you mind showing the scenery transition between the original route and Trona?
Right. So, for those who are wondering, this area was even after last update, this area was extremely rough. This industry was here, and it's supposed to be there. It does what it does. But right about here, the track kind of cut off in a way it shouldn't have. It just kind of had broken. It had broken tiles. The tiles were broken, and they just bit. It was literally like a 90-degree straight down into a white void. It was not correct at all.
I'm gonna make a meme joke. It was kind of like he just yeeted itself.
And it was completely broken, and now Trona is fixed. It's just weird that it took an entire route to be able to fix the end tiles. It's a bit unfortunate.
Is this a single player or is it multiplayer?
This is single player, because I heard the multiplayer server was down, so...
Ooh. Alright, do we have any road textures?
We do have road textures that are not the most... that are common.
New road textures.
I think these are new. For those who... Mickey, if you're watching on the stream, can you see, like, text showing up on the right that's like the YouTube comments?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I was worried that wasn't working. It didn't seem... It was very hard to read on my end. I also would normally be running on the Restream beta right now, but that chat function won't work without that. So what we're doing right now, this is the first scenery object, basic piece of, first thing you encounter on the Trona line, which is Highway 58, or excuse me, yeah, California 58, the highway overpass, which does have their nice chain link fence. Yes.
Wait, wasn't there new scenery in Mojave?
There was. I'll show it towards the... And we do have this proper milepost. We're coming up on milepost 384, and then you enter your first railroad crossing, which is actually... It's not a railroad crossing, excuse me. It is... Well, it says it's a crossing, but it's actually a bridge. Which, if I knew this bridge looked familiar. Okay. So I was talking about this earlier with Noah. This is one of the bridges from the Waycross, which is why I like it. But this one, it seems like something was done to it. I can't tell if it's the lighting or what, but it's got a very...
No, I think there's an abutment. There's abutments.
No, it's just the color looks way darker.
I think it's the way it looks in the game by default.
So I think it might be my lighting settings. I don't even know. Some people get great lighting settings. I have no idea what to set mine as. We're at milepost 386. First railroad crossing we come up to, which actually looks weathered. That's something I'm noticing. The crossing gates look weathered, and they didn't used to look like that before, or they did, and I just have never noticed.
Tower.
So we're coming up on... Absolutely not. California City Boulevard is the first main street you encounter. And I think this is a road texture we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So we're also using new track. The rails look different because I'm using the actual rails from version 1's Selkirk. I have a little bit of a nostalgia, but the ballast, yeah, the rusty rail textures, but the ballast is still what it should be. Are we clear? We're still cleared for only 15. Unfortunate.
That's the trick.
So they added.
That's why the entire main one.
Well, the rails were meant to be rusty in Selkirk version 1 and on the A line, I believe. The track was it had a very rusty rail that didn't make sense. In version 1. Well, I mean, I appreciate they're putting more rock scenery because they really didn't in a lot of the other routes. Rocks were very underused.
So I have one complaint already.
All right.
About this route, and it might be sort of typical, but there's not much in terms of bushes, like little bushes and stuff like that. It's just.
Well, I believe some of it, as far as I know, some of it is placed manually, and then some of it is auto-generated on each time.
It just kind of looks too flat.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate. 390.
Oh, I don't know.
We've got a couple more curves coming up here. Next crossing on our list is Phillips Road, which is a very basic crossing, not even gates, so we just got lights and bells, which I think has the generic road texture. What is that way out there? Wait, what is this? What is this asset?
What?
This is new.
What?
This.
Yeah, it's gonna catch up. Yeah.
Alright, Night Caden.
Wait. Yeah. Is it?
What is... What the...
Something like that.
What is this?
Oh, I think I know what that is.
It reminds me of something you're like cool.
It's something stretched out. It's a what?
Solar plant.
A solar plant.
Is it really? Okay.
It reminds me. I love the buildings just kind of sunk into the text, into the ground.
I was one. Okay, this seems very. This is definitely a new asset then.
Wait.
Are the buildings actually sunk into the ground? Oh, they are. Oh, that's still creative. That's pretty creative, though. I had no idea. Oh, I get it. If you look at it from this, I see how that's clever. Actually, it's a memory saving technique that they're doing. I guess it is a solar farm.
It's also kind of forced perspective.
Yeah, it is a forced perspective thing, and for low res, it does look pretty impressive from far away.
It looks like something from Coolwater Farms over by Europe.
What, the radio tower at Yermo?
Yeah, like the solar farm.
Oh yeah, 394. We're still chugging along. 395. I feel like I can't tell if this is actually measured in legit miles, because some miles feel shorter than others. I don't know if that makes sense, but like some of the miles feel like they're way shorter than they should be.
We might have to check them.
What?
So now we're coming up on our first high tension line with our first intersection. So we have an intersection. Yeah, we have to get like a train that's 5,280 feet and like go from end to end.
Well, somewhere around there.
Solar Plant Road, which is again a very simple crossing with road textures. Now we have high tension wires. Well, the low tension wires, as I call them, because these are like the short ones.
Are there any abandoned tracks to this? That's my question.
A little bit. I'll show you. So we've got more rock formations. Now, granted, folks, I know this looks bland. What's our current speed? Track speed is cleared for 40, so I'm turning the speeder off. Next thing we come up to is again another bridge. There's several of these across the line.
Now that they've done.
And then this is the thing that surprised me, because I didn't expect this until I was installing the route and I saw it in the folder, was defect detectors.
Wait, what?
I believe there's two. They're Union Pacific. Unfortunately, they're not coded as some unique detector that we can manipulate. They're UP.
Well, UP owns this section of track, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
And then we've got I think it's Neuralia Road, which is right here, right next to the defect detector. Standard cantilever, lights, bells, gates. What billboard is that? Oh no, it's not a bill. Oh, it's this. I'm looking. It's because my field of view is adjusted, so that's why it looks way bigger than it. All right, that's at the 45.
We can get Trona to work in V1. That would be nice.
I can get the tiles will work in V1. The track won't.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Well, the tiles will load, but you won't have any scenery, and some of the tiles will be white because they're looking for textures that don't exist.
Yeah. I mean, I do have V2, so I could just install that and then...
have it run
I
thoroughly.
don't know. I can barely run one.
Alright, so we're coming up to our first. We're coming up to our first siding, which is Cantil. Which does it have an industry? I don't remember. No, it does not. There's a little spot here, but Cantil is a very short passing siding.
I think it is. There was an industry there.
There was, but it's not. There isn't one according to the way the sim is, even with importing industry tags.
Yeah.
And that is using
So I just realized something.
the more modern switch stands.
Almost all of the content and DLC we have in Run8, we could almost create a certain incident.
Oh no.
No.
Oh, see. No, stop it. No, I know which one you're talking about. I know what you're...
We're missing one thing.
Are you suggesting we reskin something to a
Wait, is this what I think?
No.
Are you serious?
What?
Are you serious?
Fucking cop car. Look at that.
I have to screenshot this. That is great.
Nice job, guys.
It's just, I just like the clever idea of the cop hiding in the bushes. All these are assets I'm pretty sure we already have. We're doing 50, so I'm going to throw the air brakes on a little bit in the background. Yeah, the route, as far as I know, someone was saying the highest speed limit you can do on Trona is 40, which is kind of unfortunate, but I guess I can understand. Actually, I can't, because there's plenty of track could have 55 mile an hour curves. I have no idea what's going on. And then you've got, like, neat little scenes like this, like old shanties and a palm tree. Yeah, a little ranch with, like, a junk pile and, like, old wooden, like, where a fence used to be, like, the concept of a fence. Brakes released. And we'll just let it coast. Alright, we're coming up.
I think one thing that I would like to see in V3, yeah, I'm gonna go there. 3D track.
3D what?
Track. So like all the ties and model, the ballast is kinda...
That would take a lot of processing is the problem, though.
Well, you could do it like Train.
Well, I mean, Train Sim World has 3D ties, but what they do is the farther you get out, eventually it changes to 2D track.
Yeah, exactly.
Except that that pops in at like 5 feet with 3D track, so it looks terrible. We're coming up to our next street, which doesn't exist because it doesn't have a name.
Where's that red thing on the left? There's something red. That's a loading dock.
Yeah, it's a little loading dock here, which is as far as I know, this is a brand new asset. Along with this road, I'm pretty sure. I think the road texture is brand new.
No, we've had that road.
Have we?
Way across.
Then we have, again, new buildings. Well, one of them is. We have we have Alpha. I don't use Wake. No offense, Mr. Webb, but I'm not a huge fan of Waycross. I'm just not a fan of Florida.
It feels too short.
It's not that. I just don't like. Florida gives me anxiety, like as a Run8 region. So we come up to our first. We come up to our turnout here, which is basically turnout, Saltdale turnout.
I am really shocked there.
And we're coming up on we do have, there should be one other industrial road. It would be like Saltdale Industrial Road or something, is what it would probably be. So we're running farther ahead. And we're gonna slowly curve around. Let me just adjust my sprint a
I
little
want to
bit.
start singing something, but at the same time, I don't want you to get demonetized.
Yeah, please. I would rather you didn't.
No, I'm not going to. You know, you're probably getting demonetized.
Considering I have 8 people watching right now, I really would rather not crush the reputation of this stream.
I'm not going to.
No, I understand. Yeah, so then we have, well, clearly some road, well, not road work, but something getting worked on here, which is Red Rock Randsburg Road, which is kind of funny there.
That's fast.
And that goes off to all the way over there.
It just buggers off over there.
And then you've got like a basic little town here, Garlock, which uses, I think that's one of the bridges from Hut.
Yeah. Wait. Garland.
Garlock.
Yeah, what was the movie? Was it like a Disney movie or something? Garland?
Oh, I don't know. Are you thinking of Gardenia from Winx Club? Is that what you're thinking of?
No.
Okay, that's the only thing I could think of. Garland. I feel like I know what you're talking about, and yet I also don't at the same time.
It was Garland.
So next thing is we do have, a nice little. Again, I got to put the train brake on because.
The movie about it. Well, that'll probably just.
And we've got the. I don't remember which route introduced this water tower. It wasn't Bakersfield.
Tehachapi, I think.
Was it really? I thought Tehachapi had a different water tower.
Pretty sure that is Tehachapi water tower. I know, I just crushed your hopes and dreams.
No, I'm going to look through at the end of this stream and determine what files are actually updated.
Nope. Yay!
Alright, release the train brake, put it back to 30. I know the train's like 20 miles away, but I don't...
Garland...
And there's stuff up on the hill, and I can't tell. It's not radio towers, is it?
What the hell is that?
Wait, what are the... Oh, those are power lines. Huh. That's a nice touch. So the route is mostly bland. Unfortunately, that's prototypical.
Oh, hey.
It's not until you get to Trona, the actual... Then we come up on the second, and I believe, as far as I know, the last defect detector. There's only 2. And we come up to dragging equipment defect detector 422.1 at U.S. Highway 395. Which is not... Well, it's a good old American highway.
DuckTales in the movie was released in the 90s. Oh boy.
That is a long road that they drove out with for like design. Normally they don't drive out that far with Run8. No, I mean it works. I like it, but then you have a mile. Oh, this is unfortunate. So 20 miles an hour this way, 40 that way. Oh.
God, that's awful.
No, I guess it's because of these curves.
Wait, what's the topic?
I think wasn't there the Disney did that was set in like Garland or something like that? I can't remember what it was.
Garland. What's Garland?
Damn it. I can't remember what it was. It was a...
Hold on.
This is gonna kill me. If you guys know what it is, please put in the chat. So that I don't die trying to find it.
There we go.
It was some guy that moves out to like California or something, and does like I don't know.
Okay, let me take a quick look. So then we come up to here. Sorry, I had to go speak to someone else in the house. So then we've got. Oh, this is kind of a cool little scene. I'm just keeping my voice down a little bit because someone above is sleeping.
Campfire.
Campfire.
That's adorable.
That's actually really cool. I actually, and you got the nice chairs and the table. It's a nice scene.
You know what, guys? You feel old? Up was released in 2009.
425 milepost 425, coming through a couple more tight curves.
10 years old now. What? I'm sorry. Whoa. No. Wally is 11 years old.
First time we've seen an axle greaser.
So I refuse to accept that.
First time I've seen this on the route. I know they exist, but not on this line.
Exist.
You said that you have you're feeling old, up this old. You're saying,
Ooh, I see a slight, I'm gonna interrupt, I see a slight mistake.
Oh, Jesus.
There's a small part of land that didn't cover up the...
oh no!
Oh, jeez.
It's a little hard to know. Well, I mean, unless you're actively looking for it. Well, no, it's actually still glaring, but I didn't notice it until just now. When I first flew through the tunnel, I didn't notice.
One job. You know what it was? See, it wasn't Garland. It was
McFarland?
Yeah, McFarland.
Oh, that's right. You whistle for tunnels, which is a protocol very few engineers realize you got to do. No one really mentions it in Run8, is what I mean. I'm sure engineers out there actually understand it, but I mean that...
It's engineer day. Duh.
Alright, so then we come up with new track. And a 10 mile an hour speed limit. And we are at Searles Yard, which has track 601, 602, 603. And then we have a kind of bent back, like almost a lambda symbol Y.
We have a Bed Bath & Beyond.
Which is track 150, which is got an east leg and a west leg. And then we proceed farther up to the spot where we're going to begin our journey off to the left to the part that is not being used actively. And you'll notice that the track ballast changes about 3 to 4 times here for differing reasons depending on which track is being used. We have Searles Station Cutoff Road, which actually goes a lot farther than some may think because of, you can see it's drawn all the way over there. The traffic cars actually have to go the Y track to turn the locomotives around. Absolutely, yes. So we're going to split here to the left and go up the Lone Pine branch, which is milepost 429, and we're going to climb up and over this hill, 430, climb up around the curve, continue running to milepost 431, and this is as far as Run8 plans to develop for this.
Oh. Well, so they didn't even include, like, the track bed?
Not really, no.
You get lost points?
Yeah.
That's awful.
Okay, that's actually, that's just nicely done. Well, for what it's worth. So now we're going to take on to the actual attraction, which is the Trona Railway main line, which has this double track kind of...
You got to switch over to the power now. You can't take the 8s up. You got to take 4.5s.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'd recommend.
Just because you recommend... I don't care. So then we're coming through the siding, which is Garden City, and then we come to an older abandoned water tower, which has abandoned foundations. Kind of cool.
Which is where
Little
I
townhouse.
do like the old foundation.
Well, it's not actually. It's not even a double track siding. It's just a very long stub track.
You know what it is? It's a headshot, as we call that.
And now we're now we come. This is the continuation of the road that you just saw way down there, and the traffic really actually physically does. The traffic cars actually do have to travel down that. It's not some cheapo
You know what it
thing.
reminds me of, Trona? You know what that reminds me of? What's the road that you have to cross at Caliente?
Oh, the one that Caliente that goes all the way up to Allard, yeah.
Yeah.
Searles Station Cutoff Road, which does have is solar powered, or has a solar powered back. Excuse me.
Wait, guys. Car 3 is 2 years old.
What is?
Car 3.
Car.
God, it feels like it just.
So now we're on Trona Railway Subdivision, milepost 3.
Toy Story 4.
Okay.
Engine the track.
I have never heard of that movie, McKinney.
Trona Road.
McFarlane?
You never heard of that?
No. Okay.
Well,
You're talking about the 2015 one?
Trona's 25 miles, the end of the world is 20.
hold up.
McFarlane USA.
Yeah.
The movie that came out in 2015.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
It's actually.
So we're at Trona Road, which is a concrete railroad crossing.
We had to watch it for school, but it was.
That's weird that I didn't have to.
We're going to come up on some funky rock formations, which
What McFarlane USA for?
Hell if I know.
we're going to come up on some rock formations coming up that are funky, and I don't actually know that.
I have a question. Is End of the World a place? Oh my god, it is.
What's it look like?
We're gonna look now.
So yeah, we're coming. Can I get a word in, please?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we're coming up on these funky rock formations, which I don't understand the historical significance of. I have not researched that before this stream.
Where are you at? Where's that near?
Near Trona Road. Are these strange...
Road.
Yeah.
Bear with me 2 minutes, I'm gonna go.
And then you'll see... What is that all the way up there?
What do you over by? Wait, what's near you?
Trona Road. I don't know where else right now.
Well, no, but like, are there curves or anything near you, or?
Yeah, there's a curve right next to the rock formation that turns left. I need to go manage the train really quickly, so... Are we in 40 mile an hour? If we're still in 40 mile an hour territory, then where are we coming up on?
Oh, big sad. Oh well, could be worse. If someone knows in the chat, please tell
So
us.
there's 7 people watching, so people are kind of interested in this. Must be people from the CSG. So we're coming up on here, and we have... What milepost are we at now? We are at milepost 8.
Oh, okay.
I apologize if I sound under the... I apologize if I don't sound well, folks, and am dealing with a cold right now and not feeling the greatest, but figured I'd get this out of the way. I know where you are. Of course you do, Reagan. Of course you do. You would know.
What are the rock formations? Can you go back to those rock formations?
I can. I just need a moment. Wait, how actually big was this? That was a lot bigger asset than I thought it was.
The bridge is actually pretty big.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I've never actually seen the bottom of it, like the bottom.
Alright, let me go back to 2. Alright, I'm at the rock formation.
Trona pinnacles.
The Trona pinnacles?
Yeah, that's what it's called, apparently.
Huh. Have you got to Calico?
Star Trek 5.
No, we're only as far as milepost 10 on Trona right now, exploring.
Actually, Joe, fun fact, over by where you are, at the pinnacles. Apparently, Star Trek V: The Final Frontier filming had a pinnacle. Yeah.
Wait, Calico is Randsburg? What? Hold on.
You're not making much sense.
Wait, Randsburg Street? Way back? Way back? That's Calico?
Trona pinnacles are unusual.
Coming up on milepost 12, still very bland, but there is... milepost 13 marks Spangler. There's not really much significance to it, really. There's really nothing around. Still continuing through the route. No, it's before the tunnel. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Calico's way back.
Yeah.
So then we come up to one of the more serious industries, which is Navy siding, which is, I think, still used by the actual U.S. Navy. Maybe it was abandoned, I don't remember, but it does have loading docks.
I'm following you along here. You're at the Navy place?
Yeah.
Let me
make sure I put it, yeah, United States Navy.
That's a... I found a small yard. That's right.
And then we're coming up on Randsburg Wash Road. Abandoned. No, Calico is okay.
Randsburg Wash Road. Alright.
Let me see how far out the mountains go.
Small freight yard.
The mountains do go out for really miles, if being quite honest.
Wait, what is this? Poison Canyon. Huh. That would be going the wrong way.
What's my heading? I should look at my camera heading right now. My heading is 34 degrees, so I'm heading mostly... Did they include the branch off of Ridgecrest in Yokern? Is that Lone Pine? Coming up on milepost 16, which does have the rest of the Trona pinnacles.
Hurrah! Yay for actually finding out information.
I'll pause a little bit on each of these so people can get like decent screen captures if they want to.
They look cool though. They look nice.
Yeah, and they all look individually modeled, so they're...
So, for once, no greenstone.
I think a couple might be copies of each other, but I think that's all right. You can't really tell without like actively flipping them over. Wait, so they include the branch off to Ridgecrest and Inyokern. No, they only included about 3 miles of Lone Pine, and it's all the way up to milepost 431, and then it just stops it with a yellow buffer. Doesn't include anything beyond that. No significant named places on the Lone Pine. Very little of it at all. Of that part, anyways. Basically, it splits off at Searles Yard, goes for 3 miles, and ends. There's nothing to it, unfortunately, Reagan.
I'm noticing though that Ryan still hasn't perfected the texture transitions between tiles. Because I'm noticing a couple of severe.
Milepost 18.
What?
I need to figure out where the train is.
Hello.
Pacific Railway protection. Wow, that's cool. Milepost 19. Coming through a couple little valleys.
You find the borax mule train yet? What?
I think so. I flew up to the borax plant earlier. The mule train. What is he?
So, are you okay? I'm concerned.
21. 22. 23 coming up to another small bridge. It's mostly straight here. Hold on. Now we come up to Oxy Yard.
Oh, okay. Jump out.
Which is not...
Right now. I'm at that same yard right now.
Oxy Yard, which does not get used by the industry system.
Actually, I'm looking here on Google Maps, Jonah, this yard. It looks like 3 bays are just kind of stored in here.
Huh. Well, that's what I have, so...
So...
Oh, these are... we got different switch stands for them. These are yellow targets. Maybe there are a bunch more switch stands that I didn't know about.
Did you back up any of your, like, installers?
Heard me, I lost one. Yeah, if you still have your purchase receipts, you can get Run8 to send you new stuff. So then we're at Pinnacle Road, which is a dirt crossing with...
That is Google, Jonah?
Yep.
From Google. I'm looking at it. So... Yay!
So then we continue onwards. And we start coming up to the end of the line. Well, actually, no, this is not the end of the line. We keep going, but we come up to one of the bigger parts, which is this borax plant, which has a lot going on. Let me turn industry tags on so I can map out where everything is.
Well, so there's probably a lot of trackies back here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of scenery assets. Some have been reused, but some of which are not. Some of these are custom. And see, there's multiple different loads for this. These front two tracks with the yard office, These front two tracks with the yard office factory building, I'm not 100% sure. This, I think, was a new building.
That yard office building is correct. It looks like track maintenance vehicles.
Okay, track department. We're here at the West End Borax facility, which switch stands have red. So this is divided into SVW, which let me look through my actual.
Wow. Yeah, look at that. Even got the bridge right too.
SVW stands for Searles Valley West End Borax Loading, and then SVA is loading for potash. So this is SVW for the borax, which covers this whole siding. Then we roll back here and we have SVA, and this is where the potash trains, which would probably be, which is basically any train that's not the ones that go to Trona for getting like ash loaded. This is for potash as opposed to soda ash. Unless they're the same thing. I'm not sure. So there's that big area. If anyone wants me to go back, if anyone's watching the stream thinks there's something I missed or wants me to go back to something, please just you're West End, California. Boroslove, which is a set of 2 passing sidings.
Yeah.
Milepost 28, which has a speed limit of 15. Are we in the 10-mile-an-hour zone yet? No, we're still at 40.
So you are coming up to a wide track.
Okay. Yeah, there is one. So there's. Yeah, I'm coming up to milepost 29. Yeah, here's Trona itself. Also, did they include the 2 detectors? Yes. 401 and 422 do exist in this, and they're programmed in as UP.
So,
we've been flying along the route since Mojave, so I've explored pretty much all of it. We're at a little place called Argus, which is, I think you would know better. So I'm coming up to Trona Road, which has the Y.
Yeah, Argus. There's actually a place here called Argus Race. That sounds exciting. Wow. That sounds exciting. What am I going there?
Howdy, Hanksabot. Welcome to the channel. So basic crossing at Trona Road, 15 miles an hour into Trona. Then we have the Y, which You know, well, it's a Y. It's got a little tighter curves than expected, but then we have a clever usage of a signal. I think it's a signal bridge asset. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It might be something else. I think it might actually be something else. Used for part of the actual plant at Trona that goes up and over the hand throw tracks. And this is a pretty big, well-detailed area. So then we're coming into, and there's tracks here. So the stuff that goes here off to the right, which has infinite stubs, includes the engine shops for Trona Railway itself. Granted, it's reusing a building we've seen in a bunch of other routes, but that's, you know, that's how sometimes you can't. This is their yard office. There's a see, you can put mileposts without them being on track, because it literally says Trona right there. I've known you could do that, but it's just nice to get confirmation. So a lot of old abandoned buildings. You know, there's a couple things you've seen here from other routes that are kind of, you know. And then the scenery does go out a bit farther, including the clone neighborhood back there. Mainly just, you know, it adds to the overall detail. So you have the engine shed shops right here, which I have not experimented with yet. And then right over here we have stub, and then we go into the Trona facility, which has SVB, which is the borax loading plant for Trona itself, which is right here. Very slick, you know, simple in and out operation. You got two other stubs here. Again, nothing confirmed for them on the industry tags. We come over here, another track. We come back into two other stubs. One of which they are stubs. As we come over here, you've got the supply tracks for SVU and SVS, which are the mineral supply and mineral shipping for Searles Valley. And they have a large number of stubs for stuff like that, including, you know, right up to these buildings. And then you have the car repair shop, which, you know, anything that's got a defect, you'll just throw right in here. Then you get a curve out here. So then as you come back into the 14 million stub tracks over here, you're going to curl up a little bit more to Searles Valley SVP, which is Searles Valley potash loading. And this is about like 5 tracks wide, and then you've got C, which is the coal unloading for the right here. Now, granted, in Run8, you leave a consist somewhere to unload. In real life, a train, you don't drop coal cars on a freight track and just wait for them to teleport to be unloaded. So you're going to have to do a run at 2 miles an hour and click on each car and manually unload it sort of thing to be realistic. You've got the acid spur here, which does take acid tanks, which is SVT, which is the acid tank unloading. It's Searles Valley. And you'll have to do a little bit of fancy switching. Most of it's pretty straightforward. Hanks, but gotta admit, the plant looks pretty detailed compared to previous stuff. Seems like recent routes from the team have been pretty detailed. Examples, Seligman in LA. I agree. So you've got your potash loading here, which is all, you know, nice and snazzy. And then, you know, among the 36,000 stub tracks, you have the coal unloading right here, which is pretty simple. It's a really simple dump grate into the conveyor system. And then you come to the final part of the Trona line, which is, you'll see a set of switches here. And this is where the hoppers get stored afterwards. This goes into a 5-track wide reversing loop, which is where the cars will be stored, and that is prototypical to real life. You can fit very long hopper trains around this. You store them and then build them all up and send them out. And then we have a cemetery right outside of it. Which way is it facing? It's facing this way. With a little bit of a broken fence. And for the most part, excluding the cloned village over here, which is a forced... I thought this was all 3D. No, it's forced perspective. That's pretty clever. And looking over the whole operation from here... you can see that there's been quite a lot of detail going into this route. For what it's worth. Now the real question is it worth your $20? Well, as someone who hasn't even had enough time to really do a proper review or do anything, I'll just say that's up to you. If you want to spend the $20 on it, you're more than welcome to. You know, you get basically operations of just the Trona Railway with some Union Pacific. You do get 2 fun little world saves that have been designed as activities. You get a 689 consist world save, which will tax even the highest PCs to allow you to dispatch like crazy, including Trona Railway. And you'll get 2 spawnable consists, which is OTNLB, or OLBTN, and the train that I'm currently driving, which we are on our way with, which is, I can remember my symbol, which is, this is OTBL, and the other one was CSKTR, which was spawns at Fleta on this, and will give you a train bound for Searles Yard and the Trona Railway. And we've been making very little progress. We're all the way back at Neuralia on the first defect detector, which I will let people hear, because these are the squawk back type of... these are the actual detectors, unlike most of the Cajon sub many of you are familiar with, and the needle sub. These are detectors that will actually squawk back after the train has passed. Isn't there a speed limit change afterwards? No. So we're still clear for 40. How long has this stream been going for? Alright, I'm just going to let this pass on through. To those of you who are just joining us, welcome to the stream. We're getting close to the end of it, but we're still doing a few little things to check out, including a couple scenery objects added back at Mojave Yard. And these are the new cover hoppers from, how do the coils look? I'll show them off in a moment. There we go. So what we'll do in this case is we'll give the AI the job right now to bring this up to Trona. And what we'll do is we'll go to a spot where we can showcase these cars. Let's do it farther along the line here. We'll go to the Gons coil cars. So here are the coil cars. Figured I'd just show them off. So you've got your BNSF here. Empty, loaded, doesn't really matter. The detailing, I'll turn the HUD off for this. There's some pretty nice, you know, rust to make them seem weathered and well thought out. We'll get on the top. And we'll showcase the others. Does the route come with default industries to import? Absolutely. You can find the additional industries to import in the V2 routes regions southern CA folder. You'll find a file that says tronalonepine.ind. And you can import that using the industry configuration system. So then we have the Norfolk Southern coil car. Cold coil steel loading only.
It's on the option.
And this still has Conrail on it, but it is does have a Norfolk Southern coil container on it. They're all weathered differently. And then we do have the chassis system with a moniker for South. It says so this has one coil that's chassis system. The other one is the Elgin Joliet and the Eastern Railway, which I unfortunately know nothing about. And the car itself is a South Shore Freight, Greenbrier, or GBSR. No, it's not Greenbrier. That'd be GBRX. So it's the EJ and E. It's a little easier to see it in the sunlight here with the weathered car. CS6 Railfan 2. Pretty sure I know who that is, but again, welcome to stream. And so these three cars can be loaded and empty. The only thing you're going to really notice is the springs being depressed. Now the other two, which are a BNSF and a Conrail and a GBSR, which I don't remember what that is, South Shore. So these ones, if you hit full, will give you a set of loaded actual coils. It's summy, yeah, I thought. So you get some decent steel coils with, but you don't get a cover for this particular one. Then we're going to move on to the Conrail. Again, similar thing. This is very basic. This is your basic Conrail coil car without a cover. Now, I don't know of any industries that particularly use these, but anyone wants to do research, I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, see the game, Jonah.
And there is markings actually drawn on the coils. I'm sorry, what?
We can't see the game.
What do you mean you can't see the game? How long have you been unable to see it?
For a couple minutes now.
You didn't tell me anything.
I said things several times. I said, hey Jonah, we can't see the game. Like, it's been on...
Which car was I on last?
You were going over all the cars and it all showed, there you go, now it's...
Which freight car was I on?
Yeah, I guess the very beginning, because all showed was like BNSF and...
This is a fault of... Unfortunately, I hate to badmouth Run8 Studios, but this has been a problem between OBS and Run8 Studios that neither of them seems to be able to figure out. The way in which the menus are written for Run8 don't work properly in OBS at all. So sometimes OBS just snaps onto them when it shouldn't, and it's a dumb thing that it does. But that's just how it works. So I'll review these from the beginning again because unfortunately, apparently the stream broke. So here is the BNSF coil car, and these ones, as I said before, you can put full and empty. The only thing you're going to notice that's different is the springs being adjusted, and actually like adjusting the weight to adjust the weight of your train. Next one we're coming up on is a Conrail coil car, but it does have a Norfolk Southern coil top. I'm double checking to make sure this is capturing. And then we have a regular Conrail one. It's properly, well rusted. Pretty decent for, what you're getting. And then we have this one, which is a South Shore freight car, the GBSR, which has a chassis system container and an Elgin Joliet and Eastern Railway cap. And you'll see those better in the sunlight here. And then we're going to go to these two, which you'll notice they're loaded now, but when you they spawn empty. These are the two that are listed as OPN in their file names, which means that they're always open. So you've got the BNSF one here, which actually has pretty well designed coils, for what it's worth, for the poly count that they can do without impacting performance. And they do have the measurements and certain details written on the coils. Not that I know anything about them. The actual decks do have wood boards and are relatively well detailed for a Run8 product. There's only so much you can do with certain texture maps. And then we have the CRLE, which is another Conrail right here with its own coils. And then we come to another one, which is we get another GBSR South Shore freight car with just coils instead of caps. And they'll spawn slightly farther down, all the covered hoppers, so we can figure out those. Covered hoppers. There's only 5, I believe. These are PS4750 covered, corrugated covered hoppers. So you've got your, nice red BNSF one here. Standard detail that you would come to expect. And then you've got your Seaboard Coastline. The family lines, excuse me. What? Screen's black. What the fuck?
You went to the rail vehicle menu.
Oh, now it's even more broken. I just realized. This is great.
And then you had a spaz attack, and then now it's set to CSX. The CSX set all handbrake. So I'm just trying.
Yeah, it won't capture the game now. I think Run8 broke.
Wow. mention.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the game just failed. I can't even get it to close. Hold on. Alright, folks, we gotta restart. Unfortunately, like most of my streams, usually something goes wrong. So, we're gonna hopefully resume. Hopefully. I would also like to make it very clear I've never had this issue with Run8 version 1. This is a V2 issue, and it's been getting progressively worse with every update, as far as I know. I don't even, know how we're all still alive at this point. Alright, let's see, did it lose? Yeah, it brings up the wrong menu. That's great. I'm going to turn that off for now, so it doesn't capture anything, because then you guys don't, see garbage, you just see a black screen with a logo. And then I'm just going to literally spawn the cars, relinquish all my trains, get on the ground, and then walk over to the cars, and then resize the screen, and now turn on the capture. There we go. Now we won't have any issues. It says there's a black screen. That was deliberate. Alright, so now we have the BNSF covered hopper. I'm watching the thing. If it fails, I can see it. I'm watching OBS right now. So we have the BNSF covered hoppers, which actually do have like the slide open doors at the bottom. And you've got the actual brake gear. You've got your very simple details. Let me take a look at how good the decks are on the top. Those are actually pretty decent for what you're getting. So you have that. Then you have, granted, I believe the reporting mark is CSXT, but it is a Family Lines SCL, L&N, Georgia, Clinchfield, West Point route corrugated cover hopper. These are PS 4750s, I believe. This has got the CSXT patch. It is very rusty. Then you have the DGHX. I don't remember which company this technically is. They've got their, very plain hopper. Then you have a leaser, a road name that I have not actually seen, which is NAHX. CPEP removed. And these are all pretty, unfortunately, given the texture mapping, considering they're not 4K textures, some of this text gets incredibly blurry, because Run8 uses 2K texture maps for freight cars as opposed to 4K. Same with their locomotives. So you have the NAHX one, which is what I'm most excited about. The Union Pacific. And there's really not much else to show other than that, because we haven't had a lot of other content added. That I can really think of. There's not much else I can really think of to show off, unless anyone that's watching, because it says there's 5 people watching. If anyone else has another idea of anything that from the update or from the Trona route that they would like to see, just let me know real quick. And if not, then in the next couple minutes I'll shut down the stream, and that'll be that. So there's the freight cars that you're getting for $10. There's 5 covered hoppers and 5 coil cars. Is it worth the money? Is Trona worth the money? That's up to you. Are the freight cars worth the money? I'd personally say for $10, probably. The coils, you don't have exactly as much use given the era that we're in, but the covered hoppers can pretty much be used anywhere, so if it was its own pack, I would say the covered hoppers for $5 would be worth plenty of money on their own. Trona is still on the fence. I still am too. I almost didn't buy it today, but I realized that, you know, I needed to get in on reviewing it and experiencing it. I've kind of been interested in running Trona trains for a while. And do I think it's necessarily worth $20? I'm sure a lot of research went into it, and it takes a while to build these routes. Would I probably pay for it again for $20? Probably not. I might reconsider if I were to do this purchase again. I would probably wait, but because I'm not getting, I might get a little bit more use out of this than, say, Seligman, where I get Seligman and the Bakers. Seligman does nothing for me. It went black again. No, it's not. I'm watching. It's not black. Don't lie. Dropped frames, 21. Huh. Wonder what point that was. Alright, there we go. Alright, so since no one else is really speaking up, all I can really say is, just put a little, that's going to break the menu if I do this right now. It's literally going to bring up the consist menu and capture that, which I didn't want it to. But, you know, what can you do? Or no, it's actually working somehow. Yeah, and it's going to do that. Not what I wanted. I'll have to talk with John Greenstone about this in an email, because this shouldn't be happening, but that's how OBS works. Anyways, this has been the review of my first impressions of the new Trona Railway and Lone Pine Subdivision add-on, which is currently out for $20 on the Run8 Studios website, along with the mixed freight pack number 2, which includes the PS 4750 covered hoppers and the steel coil cars, both open top versions and closed top versions. And you can pick that up for about $10. Both of these are available now, along with Update 8, which you're going to need in order to get both of these packs to work properly. So, so I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all have a fantastic night, or a fantastic morning, because it's 2 a.m. right now. So, thank you for watching.